Braves Country. I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Hey, Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Hey Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show Braves Country Today just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavin. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly, and his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts. A plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler. Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren. Skip Carey 2. Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren. Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young. The game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Ramalama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024.
like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Polk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America you get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
you're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright
ball.
Down a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing second base is Jonathan India. 8 home runs, 40 RBI, 9 stolen bases, batting .275. Batting second, playing short, Ellie De La Cruz. 17 home runs, 44 RBI, 49 stolen bases, batting .258. Spencer Steele, batting third, playing first. 15 home runs, 61 RBI, 15 stolen bases, batting .236. Tyler Stevenson, batting cleanup, behind home plate. 11 home runs, 35 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .238. Fairchild is in center field and batting fifth. 6 home runs, 24 RBI, 13 stolen bases, batting .229. Marte, batting sixth and playing third. 2 home runs, 7 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .179. Austin Slater, batting seventh and in left field with 1 home run, 12 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .189. Hines is in right field and batting eighth. He has 5 home runs, 11 RBI, a .353 average, 2 stolen bases, 34 at-bats this year. And Espinal is the designated hitter and batting ninth. A .219 average in a 201 at-bats, 6 home runs, 27 RBI, 6 stolen bases. On the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, it's Nick Martinez. He's 3-5 with a 3.88 ERA. The right-hander has a 1.13 whip, 72 innings pitched, 72 hits allowed, 56 strikeouts, 9 walks, and 6 home runs served. He'll be going head-to-head with the conductor, Chris Sale. He's 13-3 with a 2.70 ERA, a shiny 0.95 whip, 110 innings pitched, 81 hits allowed, 140 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 7 home runs given up. Backing up Chris Sale in the bottom of the first inning, patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Kid Kelnick. 11 home runs, 30 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .248. Batting second, playing third for the absent Austin Riley, who's on paternity leave, it's Nacho Alvarez. He's 0 for 4 on the season. Batting third, the designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna. 28 home runs, 79 RBI, a .311 average. Batting cleanup, and behind home plate, it's Travis d'Arnaud. 9 home runs, 32 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .258. Batting fifth and playing first, Matt Olson. 13 home runs, 44 RBI, batting .220. And Adam Duvall is in right field and batting sixth. 8 home runs, 26 RBI, batting .183. Eddie Rosario is batting seventh and in left field. He has 9 home runs, 30 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .186. Batting eighth, Orlando Arcia is at shortstop. He has 7 home runs, 26 RBI, a .212 average. Batting ninth, playing second, it's Zach Short. Too Short is batting .119 on the year with 5 RBI and 2 stolen bases. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight, it's Marvin Hudson. Your first base umpire is Hunter Wintelstedt. Second base is manned by John Tupame, and down the third base line, it's Nick Marley. Your Atlanta Braves come in 9 games over 500. The Reds, 5 games under 500. Atlanta is minus 185 on the money line. The over-under is 7.5. Temperatures, 82 degrees here at Truist Park, and there is a chance of thunderstorms. We'll keep an eye on that. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Red Legs, Game 2 of a 3-game set. The conductor is taking the mound tonight. Your Atlanta Braves are looking to tie the series up, force a rubber match tomorrow afternoon. We got the conductor emoji kicking in the chat for you Country Club members. So warm up those chop arms, Country Club and Braves Country. Get your game face on. Good evening, Braves Country. We are in a weather delay, and the Atlanta Braves, I'll read to you what they said. They announced, what was it, around 25 minutes ago, that the start of tonight's game will be delayed. We will provide updates as soon as they are available. So that's what we're looking at right now as I'm pulling up the weather in the Atlanta area. I've been looking at this all day long, and I knew there was a very good chance that we were going to end up in some kind of a weather delay. I thought it was going to come in a little later, but it is actually in the area now. So with that being said, it looks like it's starting to leave, but there's another front that's coming in. And so with that being said, if the radar is correct that I'm looking at, it would clear out of the area. Man, it's pretty late. I don't know if they're going to play this one, to be honest with you. There is an area, once they get past the really bad stuff, it's about, I'm thinking of, man, it's going to be spotty. I don't want to make a prediction because I could be dead wrong. I'm just looking at the radar on the app, and it doesn't look great. And tomorrow is a day game. We could end up with a doubleheader. They might just punt it. I know the Braves don't want to start Chris Sale and then all of a sudden have to spit the bit. But I will say this: the grounds crew is actually out on the field right now, tending to the field itself. So anytime you see them do that, it means they're still trying to get the game off. But we're going to keep an eye on it. What we have for you tonight is we got an edited version of the 2024 Hall of Fame inductions. If you haven't heard, it was some pretty good stuff. Joe Mauer, Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and Jim Leyland all went in, and really good stuff. We edited out all the junk, all the stuff that didn't make sense, like the commercials and all that stuff. And so we're going to play that for you and get that going, and I'm going to keep an eye on it and continue to chat away in the chat. But I'm not going to try to do a show because last time we did that and we opened up phone lines, nobody called. So there's no point in me standing around doing that nonsense for the next couple hours. All right. So we are going to play the 2024 Hall of Fame induction and continue to look at this. And as soon as we know something, we're going to put it in the chat. So, either keep it up and, keep it rolling and either listen to the show. I think it's a pretty good Hall of Fame induction, but if not, just if you got something else that you want to do, keep popping in. I mean, if they cancel this thing, I wish they would do it sooner than later, because I just got the college football 2025 game, and come on, let's go. But first things first, we're going to find out what happened with what happens here. Like I said, I don't think they want to start this thing and then find out they have to shut it down in a couple of innings because it's a Chris Sale day. Now, one thing, I do want to hit up a couple of things for those of y'all who have not paid attention to this. A, it looks like Alan Winans is most likely going to get the start tomorrow. It could be a piggyback situation. It could be Alan Winans and a combination of him and Dylan Todd. Alan Winans is in the facility, but he has not been activated. So they're kind of in a holding pattern in case they have to use Dylan Todd today. If they were to use Dylan Todd tonight for some reason, they would probably send him down and then activate Winans. So they did say that Winans is in the facility. He showed up this afternoon. So that's the essential game plan tomorrow, is probably Alan Winans. And they could do a situation, because they're trying to buy innings like they've been doing all along, even with the crap hole that we got going on with all the injuries. They're talking about there's a possibility that Winans pitches tomorrow. And as I speak this, it looks like that they're starting to pull the tarp, so that would be great news. We'll see if that means they're actually pulling it or if they're just straightening it up. But there's a possibility they could start Winans tomorrow and then Dylan Dodd on Thursday, the first game of the series in New York. So we'll see what happens there, because if you wonder why they wouldn't do it the other way around, remember when Winans first came up, he had a really good start against the Mets last year, but it was against like their B and C squad. It was late in the summer. The Mets were out of it, and it was a doubleheader. The next time Winans came up, he got pounded by the Mets. So I don't think they want the Mets to see him again, and they're going to try to throw something else at him. Anyways, in theory, on regular rest, it would be Charlie Morton's turn. But they're doing this thing where they're trying to build in extra days off for everybody, even with the Max Fried injury. So there you have that. So, and I did, in a couple other things, I do want to, because I make notes throughout the day whenever I'm looking up stuff. So let me go to my list here. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I hit all this stuff. First of all, there's a couple of things to be noted. One of them is the fact that we talked about the Winans thing. Luke Williams has been brought up because Austin Riley's on paternity list. I guess his wife went into labor last night during the 9th inning, and they yanked him. And the reason why Whit Merrifield's not in the lineup is because he banged his finger or something when he got in there Monday, fielding ground balls. And it's one of those things where he said that he can't really play third. He could probably play second, but throwing from third to first would be kind of a dicey situation, because he basically banged his finger up. He's hoping to be available for the later in the week. Austin Riley, they expect him to show up sometime in the series in New York. So he won't be there today. He won't be there tomorrow. In theory, you get 3 days, so he may not be back till Friday. Anyways, the Braves did announce that they signed 20 of their draft picks already. So good news on that front. Guys like Cam Caminiti, Carter Helton, all these guys have been signed up, and everything showing like they're going to get a lot of these guys signed across the board. We won't go into the whole list. Like I said, it's 20 people. Jimmy Herget and Hurston Waldrop began rehab assignments with the FCL Braves. So Hurston Waldrop back on the mend. They're starting to rev him back up. I still believe that was a ghost IL. I still believe they were trying to manage his innings, and they didn't want him to waste a bunch of innings down on the farm. The other things that we have going on, we talked about Merrifield. We talked about Luke Williams. Let's see what else I have here. I know there's a couple. The closed-door meeting, Snicker said that none of the coaches were involved. That was a player's decision. They didn't say who who started the meeting, who led the meeting, I'd be willing to bet Chris Sale was involved, because he's definitely one of the leaders in that clubhouse, and he definitely has a fire, and I don't think it's an accident that Chris Sale, on Chris Sale Day, that they had a players-only meeting. I do like the idea of that. I like the fact that they're like, look, enough is enough. I made a joke earlier on Twitter. Someone said, I'd like to know who called the meeting. I said, it was Nacho Alvarez. He took one look at this team last night and said, this is ridiculous. We got to have a meeting. But anyways, listen to this stat. This is an eye-popping stat. Matt Olson is now 1 for his last 33 at-bats. 1 for 33. He does not have a hit in the second half yet, 0 for 15. 1 for 33. That's an eye popper. And what it tells me is he shouldn't be hitting where he's hitting in the lineup. He needs to be way the hell down on the lineup. The players only meeting, we covered that. We covered the fact that Snicker, I thought there was something else. Other than the fact, I'm pretty sure I went over this earlier, but I did have it marked. Ian Anderson was activated off the IL into AAA Gwinnett, and he has started pitching. I expect him to get 2 or 3 starts before they would even think about bringing him up, but you never know. He is pretty stretched out. And this is just a random thing. In case you're kind of wondering about next year, the Oakland A's are playing in Sacramento next year. The Braves will actually play in that stadium July 8th through the 10th. It's the first half of a 6-game road trip that finishes in St. Louis before we go to the All-Star break. The only reason why I bring this up, because we were talking about the All-Star break in the chat, Truist Park. I am planning on being there. We're trying to figure out some things to do, and the big thing is the group of friends that I've got going that are planning on going, they really want to go to the home run derby, so I think that's what we're going to make it a priority. We may show up there early on, maybe Sunday night or something. If folks are in town, y'all want to get together with Braves Country Radio, we'd love to meet all of y'all, anybody that are going to be in the Atlanta area. So we'll talk more about that as it gets closer. I did just see that they are putting dirt on the mound, and that's usually a good sign. But I'm going to go ahead and shut up and get out of the way and play the 2024 Hall of Fame induction while we wait on an official time. See, what does it say here? The Reds had a player meeting on the bus from the airport yesterday. A pep talk from Luke Mail. Seemed like it worked for last night's game. Well, hopefully we get a little more. So what are you saying, Kerry, that the Braves just stole their idea? The reason why this was brought up more than anything else on Twitter is because last year, or maybe it was the year before, Brian Snicker held a closed-door meeting. Yeah, it was 2022. He held a closed-door meeting, and then the Braves went on a tear. And he's been asked about that ever since, and Snicker has said, it's not the time, and then somebody took it upon themselves today. So, like I said, I would be willing to bet Chris Sale at least had a hand in it, because I don't think it's by accident that on Chris Sale Day they had a players-only meeting. But anyways, we'll step away here for a second. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on as far as first pitch, and once we get that information to you, we will kick it in the chat. If anyone else has seen anything, let me know. But as of right now, I've not seen anything. Let me double check real quick before we head on to break. Let me see here. Let's see if the actual Braves themselves, they're the only ones you can, everybody can guesstimate. They have not made an announcement, but I did see them putting dirt on the mound, and that's usually a good sign, because normally they're not going to pull that tarp off unless they have a game plan. So anyways, we'll step aside 2024 Hall of Fame induction, and I'm going to be scrolling around and seeing if I can find out when this game is going to get started. It feels like they want to play it. There's certain nights where you read the tea leaves and it looks like they don't want to get it done. but I think they're trying to figure out if that front is going to come in and sit on top of them or if it's going to move away. All right, here's the 2024 Hall of Fame induction in case y'all missed it. Y'all enjoy. Hi, I'm Mac Magee from Braves Country Radio. You're listening to the 2024 Hall of Fame induction speeches. Enjoy.
Thank you. The ceremony is moments away from beginning. What kind of expectations do we have for the speeches that we're about to see? Just so you know, Todd Helton will bat leadoff for the first time in his career. And then it's Adrian Beltre, followed by Jim Leyland and Joe Mauer.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2024 National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are so thrilled to have all of you with us here today in Cooperstown. My name is Josh Rawich, and I have the incredible honor of serving as the 8th president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. As we begin our induction ceremony in front of a live television audience on MLB Network, I'd like to welcome our Master of Ceremonies to introduce our returning Hall of Fame members. He's been with the MLB Network since 2011. He's the host of MLB Now, and he appears across much of the network's programming. He has a love for and a commitment to baseball and to the Hall of Fame and to Cooperstown itself. In his 7th year as our Master of Ceremonies, please give a warm welcome to Brian Kenny.
Good afternoon. We know so many of you made a long trip to be here. It was so impressive at the parade yesterday, and it's so wonderful to see you, whether you're from Colorado or Minnesota, Detroit, Texas, the Dominican Republic. Welcome to Cooperstown. Are you ready for the 48 Hall of Famers? Here we go, the roll call of legends. A 14-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner at shortstop, 5-time Silver Slugger, 5-time World Series champion, all with the New York Yankees. Please welcome back Hall of Fame class of 2020, the captain, Derek Jeter. A stellar all-around shortstop in Detroit for 2 full decades. Wire-to-wire 1984 Tigers won 7 of 8 playoff games with this infielder slugging an impressive .806, also winning the World Series MVP. From the class of 2018, Alan Trammell. He won 270 games in his career, had over 2,800 strikeouts, all while pitching in the rugged AL East for his entire career. A 5-time All-Star, class of 2019, Mike Messina. A 5-tool player, the first shortstop ever with 30 home runs and 30 steals in the same season. A 12-time All-Star, 1995 National League MVP. From the class of 2012, Barry Larkin. He led the American League in home runs 3 times and is the last man in the American League to top 400 total bases in a single season, doing so in his MVP year of 1978 for the Boston Red Sox. From the class of 2009, Jim Rice. He holds the all-time record for saves with 652. In the postseason, he posted a minuscule 0.70 ERA over 141 postseason innings, helping seal 5 World Series titles for the New York Yankees. Class of 2019, Mariano Rivera, a switch hitter who batted over 300 from both sides of the plate. He was the 1999 National League MVP, a great postseason player as well, finishing with a .409 on-base percentage, playing over 90 playoff games. From the class of 2018, Chipper Jones. Excelling as a starter and a reliever, this pitcher had over 200 wins and 150 saves. The National League Cy Young Award winner in 1996, he pitched 209 innings in the postseason alone, finishing with a stellar and clutch 2.67 ERA. From the class of 2015, John Smoltz. A unanimous National League Rookie of the Year, an 8-time Gold Glove Award winner at third base, a 7-time All-Star. From the Hall of Fame class of 2023, just last year, please welcome back Scott Rowland. He had 310 career saves, topping 100 innings in a single season 4 times as a relief pitcher. A 9-time All-Star, he helped lead the Yankees to a World Series title in 1978. From the class of 2008, Goose Gossage. He led the National League in home runs in 8 different seasons, won 10 Gold Glove Awards at third base, the National League MVP in 1980, 1981, and 1986, World Series MVP in 1980, Philadelphia Philly great, class of 1995, Mike Schmidt. He is one of only 7 players to top 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. He helped power the 1983 Orioles to the World Series title, an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove winner. From the class of 2003, Eddie Murray. One of the game's great competitors, he is a 13-time All-Star for the Kansas City Royals. He was the American League MVP in 1980, hitting .390 while also leading the league in on-base and slugging percentage. From the class of 1999, George Brett, the architect of the powerhouse Braves, qualifying for 14 consecutive postseasons and winning the 1995 World Series championship. From the class of 2017, general manager John Sherholtz. An exciting player who hit for average and power. He batted .318 for his career, while also slugging 449 home runs. He was the 2004 American League MVP, a 9-time All-Star, and an 8-time Silver Slugger. From the class of 2018, Vladimir Guerrero. He was both a Cy Young and MVP coming out of the bullpen, averaging a now unheard of 120 innings a season for 12 full years. His postseason work helped lead the Oakland A's to 3 straight World Series championships. From the class of 1992, Rollie Fingers. Bursting onto the big league scene with back-to-back American League batting titles in his first 2 full seasons, this hitter earned All-Star Game selections and MVP votes in 8 straight campaigns with the Minnesota Twins. The 1964 American League Rookie of the Year, class of 2022, Tony Oliva. In the volatile world of relief pitching, he was a constant with the San Diego Padres. 601 saves, the most games finished in the history of the National League. Welcome back from the class of 2018, Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman. He led the Red Sox to World Series championships in 2004, 2007, and 2013, winning the World Series MVP in 2013. The owner of the most career home runs by a DH, please welcome back 10-time All-Star, 2022 Hall of Fame inductee, Big Papi, David Ortiz. One of the best pure hitters of his era, he won 2 batting titles, led the league in on-base percentage 3 times in an 18-year career with the Seattle Mariners. From the class of 2019, Edgar Martinez. He threw an incredible 60 shutouts in his career, 9th highest in the history of baseball. He struck out over 3,700 batters, 5th most all-time. From the class of 2011, Bert Blyleven. An outstanding postseason performer. He'd slugged 507 of his 10 playoff series and lead Atlanta to its first World Series championship. A 5-time All-Star, he finished with 493 career home runs. From the class of 2023, please welcome back Fred McGriff. One of only 5 pitchers in the majors to play 25 seasons. He won 283 games and set a record with 16 Gold Glove awards. Please welcome to the stage 3-time 20-game winner, class of 2022, Jim Cott. At the age of 22, he hit 45 home runs and had 148 RBIs. The National League MVP in 1970 and 1972. He'd be the World Series MVP in 1976. A 10-time Gold Glove catcher and the backbone of the Big Red Machine, class of 1989, Johnny Bench. His 3,319 career hits have him number 5 all-time in the history of the American League. He also stole over 500 bases while leading the Milwaukee Brewers to a pennant and the Toronto Blue Jays to a World Series championship. The 1993 World Series MVP, Hall of Fame class of 2004, Paul Molitor. He was the first catcher to start an All-Star game for both the American League and the National League, and an 8-time All-Star. He remains second all-time in hits and RBIs among those who spent the majority of their careers behind the plate. From the class of 2020, Ted Simmons. One of the most consistent run producers of the 1980s and 90s. He is one of only 17 players in history with at least 2,800 hits and 1,600 RBIs. Please welcome 6-time All-Star Harold Baines. He put together the World Series champion Blue Jays of 1992 and 1993, and later the Phillies championship team in 2008. From the class of 2011, general manager Pat Gillick. He was one of the great artists at the plate, winning 7 batting titles, 4 times leading the league in on-base percentage as well. He finished with 3,053 hits. He was the 1977 American League MVP. From the class of 1991, please welcome back Rod Carew. The 1984 National League MVP, he won 7 straight Gold Glove awards at second base, and in separate seasons had as many as 40 home runs and 54 stolen bases. From the class of 2005, Ryne Sandberg. He is second all-time among managers in wins, winning 6 pennants and 3 World Series titles. One of the game's most innovative managers from the class of 2014, Tony La Russa. Our next Hall of Famer is a 12-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glover, a member of the 3,000 hit club who also hit 465 home runs. A longtime star for the Padres and the Yankees, he also helped the Toronto Blue Jays to their first ever World Series title. From the class of 2001, Dave Winfield. He has World Series rings with 3 different clubs, pitching brilliantly for the 1984 Tigers and the 1991 Twins, famously throwing the only 10-inning shutout in a Game 7 of the World Series. From the class of 2018, Jack Morris. He won 13 Gold Gloves behind the plate, playing a record number of games at catcher, the 1999 American League MVP with the Texas Rangers. From the class of 2017, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. A standard of excellence in power hitting has long been 500 home runs. Our next Hall of Famer has 612. He hit 30 homers 12 times, knocked in nearly 1,700 runs, has over 1,700 walks. That has him in the top 10 all time. From the class of 2018, Jim Thome. One of the great pitchers of the 1960s, he had 6 20-win seasons, a 6-time All-Star. From the class of 1983, the Dominican dandy, Juan Marichal. He was both the American League Cy Young Award winner and Most Valuable Player in 1992. Top 6 in MVP voting 4 times, unheard of for a relief pitcher. His relief work led the Oakland A's to 3 straight pennants and a World Series title. From the class of 2004, Dennis Eckersley. A 3-time batting champion and the National League MVP during a historic 1997 season with the Colorado Rockies. He also topped the National League in on-base percentage twice and slugging twice. From the class of 2020, Larry Walker. Known as a major run producer, he was top 10 in the National League in RBIs 11 times, driving in 90 runs or more in 12 of 14 seasons. A 7-time All-Star with the Big Red Machine. Please welcome back Hall of Fame class of 2000, Tony Perez. An incredibly durable pitcher. He averaged over 300 innings a season for a 9-year stretch. A 7-time 20-game winner and the first Canadian-born Hall of Famer from the class of 1991, Ferguson Jenkins. He has long been a fan favorite for the Chicago Cubs, known for his consistency and durability. He set the National League record for consecutive games played. He finished with a lifetime .290 batting average and 426 career home runs. A 6-time All-Star from the class of 1987, Billy Williams. He guided the game through a period of unprecedented growth through his 23-plus years as the 9th Commissioner of Baseball. From the class of 2017, Major League Baseball's Commissioner Emeritus, Bud Selig. A star at second base, catcher, and center field in various seasons. He'd put up eye-popping numbers like 56 doubles, 50 stolen bases, and 146 runs scored. He finished with 3,060 hits, all with the Houston Astros. From the class of 2015, Craig Biggio. He's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and was the 1995 World Series MVP for the Atlanta Braves. A 305-game winner. From the class of 2014, Tom Glavine. A 2-time MVP, he holds the record for home runs by a shortstop with 431. He broke Lou Gehrig's record for consecutive games played, finishing with 2,632 in a row, and did not miss a single inning for 5 full seasons at shortstop. Please welcome back the Iron Man, Cal Ripken. He finished his career with over 2,400 hits and 500 stolen bases. But it was his incredible defense that brought him to Cooperstown. He is a 13-time Gold Glove Award winner and holds the shortstop record for assists. From the class of 2002, the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. This manager is top 5 all-time in wins, leading the Yankees to 6 pennants and 4 World Series titles. Also a great player, he was the National League MVP in 1971. From the class of 2014, Joe Torre. Are we ready for this year's class? Born and raised in the Twin Cities, he played 15 years, all with the Minnesota Twins. He was the National High School Player of the Year in both baseball and football, opting to play baseball after being the #1 pick in the 2001 Major League Draft. Catchers have won only 7 batting titles in American League and National League history. 3 of them came from this player. A 6-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, as the best hitter at his position, also won 3 Gold Gloves for his fielding behind the plate. Please welcome to the stage, Hall of Famer, Joe Mauer. It was a long road to Cooperstown for this manager. 7 years playing, then 11 years managing in the minor leagues. He broke through in the majors in 1986 and went on to win 3 division titles with the Pirates, 2 pennants with the Tigers, and a World Series title with the Florida Marlins in 1997. 22 seasons as a big league manager, more than 1,700 wins, a 3-time Manager of the Year. Please welcome Hall of Famer Jim Leyland. "17 Major League seasons, all with the Colorado Rockies. The all-time franchise leader in games, runs, hits, home runs, and RBIs. One of the most rare feats in a single baseball season is 400 total bases. This man did it in back-to-back seasons in 2000 and 2001. A 5-time All-Star, he also won 3 Gold Gloves for his defensive work at first base. Let's welcome to the stage Hall of Famer Todd Helton. At third base, he is the all-time leader in hits, total bases, and runs batted in. One of only 3 players at the position with 3,000 hits. He did all that while playing an outstanding third base defensively, winning 5 Gold Gloves. He played for 4 teams, his longest run coming with the Texas Rangers, a club he led to an American League pennant in 2011. Please welcome to the stage Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre. Let's also welcome to the stage right now another special individual who will be a big part of today's ceremony. He is the 10th commissioner in the history of Major League Baseball, a role he assumed in 2015. He is a native of nearby Rome, New York. He's been visiting Cooperstown his entire life. Please welcome to the stage the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred. And finally, she has been involved with the Hall of Fame her entire life. Her grandfather, Stephen C. Clark, founded the museum and the Hall of Fame in 1936. Those who have come to Cooperstown over the years have witnessed her care for both this village and the Hall of Fame. The huge turnout that we have here with Hall of Famers each year on Induction Weekend is a testament to her leadership and her devotion to keeping this such a special place in both the baseball culture and in our hearts. She has served on the board of the Hall of Fame for 32 years, the last 24 as its chairman. Please welcome to the podium the chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, Jane Forbes Clark.
Thank you, Brian. And good afternoon, and welcome to Cooperstown and to our 75th National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are so happy that you're with us. As I've said many times before, the National Baseball Hall of Fame Plaque Gallery is an extraordinary place, and no one has described it better than Hall of Fame board member Ozzie Smith, a St. Louis Cardinals legend, a member of the Hall of Fame's class of 2002, when he said, "To have a plaque in the gallery, just think about it. You work hard at your craft, you make it to the top of the mountain. It's those type of moments that you realize the impact you had on people's lives, where you can create memories that last a lifetime. It's what makes this game so great." I don't think that there's a man sitting behind me who would disagree with Ozzie. Of the 342 plaques that hang in our gallery, 270 are players. Only 1% of the men to have ever played the game of Major League Baseball. Think about that. They are joined by 40 pioneers and executives, including our only female inductee, Effa Manley, 22 managers, and 10 umpires. Of these 342 legends of the game, 48 of them are sitting behind me. And today, they are joined by Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Jim Leyland, and Joe Mauer. They have each had tremendous baseball careers, and like the men that they're joining, define the greatness of the game with their character, with their integrity, and their sportsmanship.
Cooperstown, New York, the 2024 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's Greg Amsting with Harold Reynolds, Sean Casey, and Tom Verducci. And Harold, I think it's just a magical thing to witness when you see, I'm going to actually move this to Tom Verducci, to see the Hall of Famers stand up when Brian Kenny introduces the new Hall of Fame class. When you see Joe Mauer walk out and the brotherhood that resonates, it really is powerful to witness.
Yeah, I'll go beyond brotherhood and call it baseball royalty. To see so many greats in one place on this stage, I just can't imagine what it's like for Joe Mauer and Adrian Beltre and Todd Helton and Jim Leyland to know that they are in this special class of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and then there were other moments of that roll call that you know, I took away from to watch David Ortiz help Rod Carew to his seat. And it's like the generations just pass. They pass this loyalty to the game and this love of the game on, and you see it with the Hall of Famers in attendance.
Well, it's such a unique club, and I think they understand and know where they're at. You know, their mantle, so to speak, and passing that torch, carrying the torch of the sport. But Case, you've been up here a few times.
Yeah.
How cool is it to have somebody as close as you are to Leyland?
It's really cool. I just know, too, how much this means to him and his whole family. And to be able to see a guy that you have looked up to, I've looked up to this guy my whole life, and they got a chance to play for him in the big leagues. To see, you know, him up there, to be introduced with the other guys, and to have all those Hall of Famers, like you said, these are the 1%ers of the 1%ers. This is a different group, so it's really exciting.
They're heroes to so many of us on that stage right now. Childhood heroes.
You know what's interesting, Tom? It was funny. You talk to fans, you listen to what people say, and they were talking about some of the great speeches, and they were talking about one of the other speeches. They said, and Jeter has his own speech writers. No, they don't. These guys write their own stuff. There's no speech writers here. Am I right with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's straight from the heart. Now, they will submit speeches to the Hall of Fame. There is something of a time limit here, but yeah, if you talk to these guys, I think, Harold, they obsess more about this speech than anything they did in their playing career. I mean, for months and months and months, they work on this to try to get it right.
I asked Leyland recently, I saw him a few weeks ago in Pittsburgh, I said, how's your speech look? He said, I got the beginning, I got the end, I'm still working on the body, but I'm almost there. You stressed out about it? He's like, yeah.
Well, like, he was one of your heroes, your favorite manager growing up, right? So here you have a hero that became your manager. But all those guys are heroes, and when they get up and give this speech, there's this vulnerability of these superpower heroes that we love that you connect with. They're talking about their wives and their children and their parents, and we all can understand where they're coming from. And that humanity is what makes it so magical.
Well, and you don't want to leave anybody out. Just think about, we've had a couple people mention us in their speeches.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're like, wow.
Blown away.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So imagine if you forget that high school coach or somebody who had really had a huge impact on you.
Again, you're looking at the Hall of Famers sitting on the stage. Tony La Russa, Jack Morris, so many Minnesota Twin fans excited. Back to the podium we go as the ceremony continues.
I would now like to direct your attention to the video monitor as it is time to induct the first of our 4 new members of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Todd Helton.
Batting sixth from the Colorado Rockies, first baseman Todd Helton.
There couldn't have been a pitcher in baseball that was happy to see Todd come to the plate.
Third home run in 2 games for Helton in virtually the same spot each time.
It was advantage Todd every time he stepped in the batter's box.
High and deep right field. Get up and get out. Helton has done it. The Rockies win it.
Every time that you came to Coors Field to watch a game, Todd was winning a game with his bat or his glove.
Helton catches the ball. They're going to have a double play. What a play by Todd Helton.
To be able to spend 7 years and watch the work that he did and the results that were happening because of that work ethic was pretty impressive.
Football and a baseball stud down there at Tennessee. Little looper. Could it be? It is the first base hit in the Major League career of Todd Helton.
The first time I got to meet Todd was in a big league uniform, was in Pittsburgh in 1997 when he got called up. Very quiet guy and young at 23, I think, so it was the beginning of an amazing career.
He hits a drive again, he's got a home run. His second tonight.
You know, starting in that 98 season, that's when it all got real for Todd and for the rest of Major League Baseball. He figured it out and, you know, got his feet wet in 97, but then came 98, and that's when it all took off.
Todd Helton looking for the right recipe. He might have found it. He did. Wow!
2000 and 2001, where he had back-to-back seasons of 400 total bases, over 100 extra base hits, hitting .372, and he led the league in slugging, on base, and average, and you know, that's hard to do.
Has he done it again? Helton to deep center field. Edmonds going back. He's at the wall, and it's gone! Helton has just left the yard. A 3-run homer.
It was fun because I was hitting in front of him, so I did a lot of running around the bases because Todd was always knocking me in. So there was a lot of seasons like that where, you know, if I wasn't getting pitched to or if I got on base, that there was a good chance I was coming around and touching home plate because I had him behind me.
Line drive. Helton will glove it.
And it was fun playing right field on balls that were hit on the ground, no matter how hard they were hit. Sometimes I didn't even take a step to my left because I knew there was a vacuum cleaner over at first base that was just going to grab everything. You know, he was flawless over there, and a complete joy to play behind. It saved me a lot of running into the right field corner.
It was his relationship with you and me, the fans of the game, that gave Todd a special place in all of our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest Rocky of them all, Todd Helton.
Well, Todd Helton is the face of the Colorado Rockies. You know, he's the greatest player that's ever played there, and he'll probably be the greatest player that's ever played there. And now everybody gets the opportunity to see a Colorado Rocky great have a ball cap on a plaque in Cooperstown. So it's a big honor for Todd, obviously, but the fans of Colorado can celebrate this with him just as equally.
Todd, if I could ask you to join me. As chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor, Todd, to welcome you into the Hall of Fame family and to ask Commissioner Manfred to please come up and read the inscription on your plaque.
Todd Lynn Helton, Colorado, National League, 1997 through 2013. One of baseball's most efficient hitters who blended plate discipline with elite contact skills and brute strength during a 17-year career as the face of the Rockies franchise. Across 5 consecutive All-Star seasons from 2000 through 2004, led the majors in batting average, 349, extra base hits, 451, and total bases, 1,832. His 2000 campaign topped leaderboards with 59 doubles, 147 RBI, a 372 average, and a 1162 OPS, and was his first of back-to-back seasons with more than 400 total bases. Left-hander earned 4 Silver Slugger Awards and 3 Gold Gloves, leading NL first baseman in fielding percentage 6 times.
Each year, our Hall of Fame inductees receive a unique ring that commemorates their induction. The ring recognizes each Hall of Famer with his last name, position, and year of induction. In the past, we have given this ring at a private members' dinner following this ceremony. But last year, we started what we think is a new and wonderful tradition to present it on stage in front of you as part of the induction ceremony itself. Todd? Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Helton.
Thank you. I'd first like to thank Larry Walker for those kind words. Thank you. I would like to start by thanking everyone with the National Baseball Hall of Fame, from Jane Forbes Clark to Josh Rowich to John and Whitney. You have been beyond gracious to me and my family. Those of you who know me know I'd be more comfortable doing anything other than standing up here talking about myself. I'm just a ball player, and anyone in the media can attest to that fact. So, with that in mind, thank you to the media for making the most of what little I gave you. Thank you to the baseball writers who voted me in. To say I'm humbled by this honor does not begin to cover how I feel standing here today. I would first like to congratulate my fellow 2024 Hall of Fame inductees, Adrian and Joe. It's great to be sharing this podium with you. I admire the way you both played the game hard and every day. Jim Leyland. Where's Jim Leyland? In 1999, you said to me, "Kid, if you keep playing like this, you're going to make it to the Hall of Fame." Being inducted alongside you is such an honor. Congratulations, Skip. And also to Larry Walker for taking care of me early in my career and for paving the way for me to be here. I owe this incredible honor to many. You don't get to play Major League Baseball or dream of getting into the Hall of Fame without people who support you, sacrifice for you, and push you to be the best version of yourself. First, to my wife, Christy. We did this together. This is our honor. You were there on day one when I got my first call from the Major League Baseball telling me I'd been drafted by the Colorado Rockies. And you were right there by my side when I got the last call telling me I'd been elected to the Hall of Fame. I'm so grateful you were there alongside me for all those years in between those two calls. To my daughters, Tierney Faith and Gentry Grace, the pure tenderness of your heart in each of you blows me away at every turn. I've actually seen and learned so much about myself in raising you as your dad. You both mean the world to me. Mom, thank you for all the time you put into helping me get here. Now, as a parent, I have an appreciation for how much work it was for you. I now see how much you sacrificed for me to live out my dream. You watched more baseball than most big league scouts, and you did it with my baby sister in tow. Thank you so much. My dad passed in 2015. This would have meant as much, if not more, to him than it does me. When I was young, my dad taught me how to swing a bat and how to pitch a ball. But most importantly, beyond the relentless coaching, my dad made me believe I could stand up here today. My dad had a brief history in the minor leagues with the Minnesota Twins. And after that, And after that, he poured his passion for baseball into me. I will never forget being in the backyard pretending I was Jim Cott, the first baseball player I ever knew of. Now, my family, we purchased a VCR for the sole purpose of me watching this 15-minute video of Rod Carew on the baseball bunch. He was talking about hitting the ball the other way. It was literally the only video we owned, and I must have watched it a million times. Before I go any further, I'd like to recognize those who have sacrificed and fought for our freedoms. They are my heroes. I thank God for giving me the ability to play baseball. I also thank God for sending those He knew I needed in my life. Rodney, thank you for being a protective big brother when I was young and a true friend to me as we grew up. There aren't many older brothers who got invited to a friend's house growing up and before responding, asked if it was okay for his little brother to come too. Pretty cool. Coach Bells was my Central High baseball coach. Thank you, Coach, for teaching me how to conduct myself at a young age. I carried the lessons you taught me throughout my career. Coach David Cutcliffe was my quarterback coach at the University of Tennessee. Coach Cut always added some baseball words of wisdom for me on our weekly quarterback tests. One simple one-liner that stuck with me through the years was, "Don't be a dirt kicker." Thank you, Cut. Even though I wanted to, at times, I made sure I kept my frustrations off the field and out of sight. I will say, being the quarterback sandwiched between Heath Schuler and Peyton made my decision to pursue baseball easier. And I knew I wasn't big-time quarterback material when I was called into the game in the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Before running onto the field, I first had to ditch the half-eaten ham sandwich and a bag of M&Ms out of my helmet. It's a pretty good sign. So I do not get recognized in Knoxville like I do in Denver. But every so often, I'll get, "Are you Todd Helton? Weren't you a quarterback for the Vols?" I'm like, I just want to throw up my hands and say, yes, but I've played a little baseball since then. Coach Bill Mosiello was my hitting coach at UT when I played there. We have been friends for 32 years. I can honestly say that Coach Mo was the best hitting coach I had next to my dad. I'd also like to recognize the best head college coach today, Coach Tony Vitello and the national champion Tennessee Volunteers. The Rockies organization gave me so many friends, on the field, in the clubhouse, in the front office, and even at the top. Jerry McMorris was a mentor to me off the field. He poured into my family's life beyond baseball. And Dick Monfort. I guess you and I have broken an unwritten rule. Owners and players aren't supposed to be friends off the field. Dick, thank you for your friendship. You have been beyond gracious to me and my girls. Clint Hurdle. Those of you who know Clint know he's never been at a loss for words. Over nearly 30 years since we met, I have learned to pay attention to your hard-fought wisdom on and off the field. One day in Milwaukee, you told me to make it personal between me and the pitcher. It changed my perspective. It became my battle at the plate. But more importantly, thank you for helping me become a better husband and father. Keith Doogie, my longtime trainer and friend. People who know me know it takes me a while to trust people, but I've known you for 30 years, and I've trusted you for 29 and a half of those years. And of course, I had 411 teammates on the Rockies, and each of you had a part of me being here today. If you were invited by my wife or I to be here with us today, you have played a role in me standing here today. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. It has been a wild ride. Now, some people have told me that my superstitions early in my career were a bit excessive. Same food, same route to field, same routine. It made sense to no one but me. I remember getting a speeding ticket on the way to the field one day in Colorado Springs. I got 3 hits that day. So, I took the same route, went the same speed, and the next day, the same officer gave me another ticket. I didn't care. I got 3 hits that day as well. I asked the officer to meet me the 3rd day, and he indulged me. Vin Scully pointed out another superstitious moment during a game at Dodger Stadium, and I swear this is the only time it happened. I started that game with a full beard, but after every at-bat that I didn't get a hit, I went back to the locker room and shaved just a little bit. Well, after 4 at-bats, I was down to a mustache, but I got a hit in my last at-bat, so to me, it was all worth it. Looking back on my career, I was really was fortunate to have a solid and stable home base, personally and professionally. Christy and my girls were in my corner at home, and for 17 years, Denver, Colorado, and the Rockies were a perfect fit for me. The people, the lifestyle, the natural beauty of the state, I was happy to call it home. We still have a ranch in Colorado that my girls call their redneck Disneyland. Thank you, Dave McCants. To all the incredible Rockies fans, thank you for my 17 years. I know you spent your hard-earned money to come to the ballpark to cheer me on. I did my best to give it all every day. Competing on the baseball field was where I felt like I belonged. It was my church, a place where I felt most comfortable. I liked putting in the long hours and doing the extra work. The early Saturday mornings with Milo throwing to me in the cage, that's the kind of stuff I miss about baseball. Working hard to compete and the relentless drive to win. But when you live to compete and baseball has become your life and you have loved it, it is difficult to know when to retire. But this was a daggum pretty good sign. One day I was waiting on my 3-year-old daughter, Gentry, to put on her shoes. She was making these grunting noises when she bent over to put on her shoes. Worried, but not wanting to embarrass Gentry, I asked my wife what was wrong. And she smiled and whispered, "She's trying to be like you putting on your shoes." There's a saying in baseball, you're either humbled or you're about to be humbled. At 40 years old, in the shadows of Coors Field, I watched a 102-mile-per-hour fastball from Aroldis Chapman coming at my head. After bailing out, bat up, helmet flying, I got up, and the ump asked if it hit me. I said, "Nope, but I'm going to first anyway." He replied, "I don't blame you." And I ran down to first. The rewards that have come to me from baseball are beyond the wildest dreams of a young rookie coming out of the University of Tennessee. I know I'm a lucky man. All I can say is thank you to everyone whose support helped me get here, and thank you for this tremendous honor.
A measured, strong speech from Todd Helton. leading us off on this induction ceremony Sunday. Up next, Adrian Beltre graces us on the stage as we return live to Cooperstown, New York. One speech down, 3 more to go. Tom Verducci, I can't imagine the exhale that Todd Helton can finally take. Now that his speech is done, to sit there and know he can relax the rest of the afternoon.
Especially for someone, as he said, the least favorite thing for him to do, to get up there and talk about himself. I thought he did an outstanding job, Greg. I think he spoke to some of the quiet, smaller moments in life that wind up being very instrumental in someone's career. The VHH test of tape of Rod Carew talking about hitting the other way. Wow. His high school or college quarterback coach talking about don't be a dirt kicker. I love those quiet moments that make such an impact on what is now a Hall of Fame career.
That was a great speech. It looked like he was going to lose it at the beginning. Larry Walker, he had a Larry Walker teammate emotions going on right there. But again, it was a terrific speech from Todd Helton.
Hi, I'm Mac Magee from Braves Country Radio. You're listening to the 2024 Hall of Fame induction speeches. Enjoy.
We are getting closer and closer to Adrian Beltre's moment. Back to the podium, Jane Forbes-Clark.
That was really a wonderful moment at the museum a couple of months ago to dedicate that statue. I would now like to direct your attention back to our video monitor for a presentation about our second 2024 inductee, Adrian Beltre. Adrian, if I could ask you to join me. And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it's my honor, Adrian, to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and to ask Commissioner Manfred to please read the inscription on your plaque.
Adrian Beltre, Los Angeles, NL 1998 through 2004, Seattle, AL 2005 through 2009, Boston, AL 2010, Texas, AL 2011 through 18. Combined formidable bat with dynamic defense to establish himself as a premier third baseman, the first to record both 450 home runs and 3,000 hits. Dominican Republic native, developed with Dodgers into baseball's top home run hitter with 48 in 2004. Closed career with an 8-year run as Rangers lineup centerpiece, reaching the 30-homer mark 4 more times and leading the majors in hits in 2013. Filled highlight reels across 21-year career with quick hands and a rifle arm, winning 5 Gold Glove awards, 4-time All-Star, retired with more hits than any other third baseman, 3,166.
And Adrian, I would now like to present you with your Hall of Fame ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Beltre, National Baseball Hall of Fame, class of 2024.
Thank you. All right, let's do this, right? Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank the chairman, Jane Clark, the president of the Hall of Fame, Josh Rawitz, we go way back, John Chester, Winnie Horn,
and all the Hall of Fame staff for the help support towards me and my family. To my fellow inductees, Joe, Todd, and Jim, congratulations to you and your family. Well deserved. I want to thank the Baseball Writers of America for voting for me, to all of you. Before I start, I want to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible. And please bear with me. My English is getting worse every day. So I'm going to butcher some name, mispronounce some words, so please have fun with it. Okay? I want to express how grateful I am to be here today. I still can't believe this moment, being here on this podium with so much greatness behind me, and now being part of this elite group is truly an honor, and I'm humble. Everyone has their own experience in baseball and in life. My path to Cooperstown has been shaped by the people who spend time teaching me at every step of the way. With their help, I continue to learn and improve to make my way here. And I want to now share with you all how my baseball journey began when I was almost 13 years old. When I was at school, one of my classmates, named Garibaldi, saw my baseball abilities during PE and asked me if he wanted to join his baseball team on the weekends. On that weekend, I headed over to the field. I introduced myself to the coach and asked him if I can join his baseball team. He said, no problem. I paid my inscription with some money I had left for my birthday. After that, I went home and told my parents that I signed myself up in a baseball league, and all they needed to do was pay for the monthly dues. The first thing my dad asked me was, what position are you going to play? I replied, I didn't know. He said to me, you should play second base, because I don't think I'll be very tall. So I did. I started practicing second base and earned a starting job within 2 weeks. And about 3 months later, the third baseman wanted to play second base. And he said to me, I think you look better than third base. I think we should swap positions. And I simply said, okay. And I moved to third. I immediately fell in love with that position. I love every challenge of playing third base. I was hooked. Those hot shots, slow ground balls, bunt plays, I couldn't get enough of them. Thank you, Radamés Lopez. Around 2 years later, MLB teams started to look at me. One of those teams was the Dodgers. I was always grateful to the Dodgers to give me the opportunity to this 15-year-old kid from the Dominican Republic to sign me to a professional contract. Now my dream of becoming a professional baseball player was now a reality. But at my age, I still had more to learn and great people to teach me. After my school year, I was sent to Campo Las Palmas in Dominican Republic, where I got to learn the fundamentals of the game from Teddy Martinez and Luis Ángel Montalvo, and all the other coaches at that camp. After 1 year of summer league, I was able to come to the United States and pursue my dream of becoming an MLB player. Thank you to this great nation for allowing me to live out my dream. I came to the minor league and I got better with a lot of help with coaches like Tommy Bayer, Adrian Correa, John Shoemaker, and some players like Jose Pimentel, La Fraga, and Brad Dandridge. Thank you, guys. On June 23rd, 1998, when I was in AA, I received one of the most important calls of my life. I want to thank these legends so much for giving me the opportunity and having the guts to call this 19-year kid from the Dominican Republic to the big league when nobody was expecting it, especially me. I was always grateful to the late Tommy Lasorda. I made it to the big leagues. I started learning from guys like Jose Vizcaíno, Marcus Grayson, Ramon Martinez, Bobby Bonilla, Raúl Mondesi, and then Cesar Studios, Dave Roberts, Alex Cora, and one of my favorite teammates ever, El Flaco, Sean Green. I spent 7 seasons in LA, Some of the year was difficult, but shaped me and made me tough and stronger mentally. Thank you to all the managers and coaches in LA, especially Jim Tracy, Manny Mota, Jimmy Lett, John Shelby, and one of my favorite hitting coaches, Tim Wallach. Thank you to the trainer, Stanley Johnson, for being so cool. He knows what I'm talking about. Thank you to the clubhouse guys, Alex Torres and Mitch Poole. And to the LA fans, I really appreciate you. You were a hard time when I sucked, but when I was doing good, you really let me know. I will never forget the MVP chant in 2004. Love you, LA fans. Thank you for the support. Then we ended up signing in Seattle. We were there for 5 years. I want to thank the GM then, Bill Bessie, for the opportunity. And I got the chance to play with great teammates, especially that are here today. Some of my favorite teammates, Raul Ibanez, Richie Sesson, Ken Griffin, and some guy that called himself King Felix. And to that guy that called himself King, I love playing with you, but I enjoy hitting against you even more. That battle on the baseball field was my favorite by far. Even though some people say that you won that battle because it made me look really bad and I had swing strikeout, that you keep posting on social media, you know what I'm talking about. But they said that, you're as good or as bad as your last pitch or your last at-bat, right? My last at-bat, remember, against you was a homer, right? So I know who won. Good pitch. Good pitch. Congratulations, King, you won. Thank you to my coaching staff and the trainers, the trainer Griffin, the clubhouse manager Ted Wash. Thank you to the Seattle fans. Even though I didn't perform my best, you guys always showed me love. After Seattle, we head out for Boston. Boston was short but memorable. I had a chance to play for one of the best managers of my generation, Terry Francona. And game players and teammates like Pedroia, Veritek, Lester, Lowe, Cameron, Euclid, Big Papi, who's here today, Victor Martinez, and Scudero. To all my Boston teammates, thank you. Thank you to the Boston Red Sox organization, and thank you to the Boston fans. I appreciate you. After Boston, we head out to Texas. Thank you to the entire Texas Ranger organization for being so good to me and my family. To the front office, I appreciate you. Mr. Ray Davis, Bob Simpson, Neil Lehman, Nolan Ryan, the late Don Welke, John Blake, Rich Rice, Tony Taylor, Josh Helton, and I cannot forget ever to thank all the media, even you, Evan Grant and Emily Jones. John Daniel, one of my favorite GM, thank you, everything you did for me. Thank you to all my teammates in Texas. You guys made me feel welcome since day one, especially Mr. Ranger, Michael Young, Ian Kinsler, Nelson Cruz, Colby Lewis, Mitch Moreland, Chin-Soo Choo, Chirino, Prince, Napoli, all of you, thank you. He thinks I forgot, but I cannot forget one of my favorite teammates all time, my compadre, Elvis Andrews. You're paying my bud, but I really enjoy playing beside you for so many years. That was so much fun. Even though you want to catch every freaking fly ball just to help your fielding percentage. Unbelievable. To my Rangers coaches from Washington, I really love playing for you. Jeff Bannister, Steve Buchel, Tony Beasley, thank you. To my hitting coaches, Aya Posey, Colbert, Dave Magadan, I can't thank you guys enough. To the ones that kept me on the field, Dr. Keith Meister, Dr. David Hunter, trainers, Jamie Reed, Kevin Harmer, Matt Lucero, Jose Vasquez, Raul Cardenas, thank you all. The clubhouse guys, thank you all. Brandon Boy, you are the best in the business. You're a good friend. Thank you for making things easier for me and my teammates around the clubhouse. I appreciate you. To the Rangers fans, you have embraced me since day one. The support you offer me and my family is incredible. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. And like they say, everything is bigger in Texas. And you guys show me big love. I love y'all. To my agent, Scott Boras, thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. More than an agent, you're a good friend. I appreciate all the late night conversation we have at Dodger Stadium parking lot when I was struggling badly. All good advice. My brother from another mother, Mike Fiore. Mike, you're like family. I value our relationship. Thank you for always being there for us. And to the rest of the Boras Corp, thank you. To my off-season crew, Salvador, Chavita, George, Dave, thank you for so many years of workout and batting practice. Now, please allow me to say a couple things to my Spanish-speaking people. Para mi gente latina, gracias a todos mis fanáticos latinos. Gracias a la Liga Valdez Pérez, a donde yo empecé. Gracias a toda mi familia del Café Herrera, donde yo nací y me crié. Gracias a mis suegros por la ayuda y el apoyo. Gracias a Juan Carlos Carvajal por tu amistad. Gracias a mi República Dominicana por ese apoyo que siempre he tenido. Siempre orgulloso de ser dominicano y de haber nacido en mi tierra hermosa, Quisqueya la Bella. Gracias a mis padres y a mi hermano Elvin por el amor y el apoyo que siempre me han brindado. Gracias por demostrarme que el esfuerzo y el sacrificio vale la pena, porque esos sacrificios de ustedes me ayudaron a lograr mis sueños. Gracias a Teodoro Martínez, Luis Ángel Montalvo y a los difuntos Pablo Peguero y Rafael Ávila. Me hubiera gustado poder celebrar este momento con ustedes y que puedan ver lo que ustedes proyectaron desde mi temprana edad. Quiero también expresar lo orgulloso que estoy de ser un latino más electo al Salón de la Fama y del quinto dominicano junto a don Juan Marichal, Martínez, Big Papi y Vladimir Guerrero. Para mí es un honor. El apoyo y el cariño de toda mi gente latina la llevo siempre en mi corazón. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Now back to English. To my lovely kids, Cassie, AJ, and Camila, thank you for understanding that Dad was not going to be home every night. You are the best baseball kids that Father could ask for. Thank you for being such excellent kids. I'm so proud of you guys. And thank you for making fun of my English. I love it. I'm blessed and grateful for you. To my wife, Sandra, beautiful wife Sandra of 21 years. Thank you for who you are. I could have asked for a better partner. You're such a great wife. Thank you for being constant support and the backbone in our family on both sides. It is not easy to juggle so many things to allow me just to concentrate on baseball for so many years. I appreciate you more every day. Your dedication to our family is unbelievable. The way you put our needs before yours is unbelievable again. I'm grateful for your presence in my life, and I'm blessed to call you my wife. Thank you. You are my support system. You are such a strong and resilient woman. I'm lucky to have you. This wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you. You are the real Hall of Famer. I love you. To my friends and family that came to support me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Baseball was my passion, and it blessed me with countless opportunity. And the best part was, I loved it. I love baseball, and I had so much fun playing the game. Thank you to all the baseball fans for allowing me to be part of your life for 21 seasons. I'm truly grateful. God bless you all. Thank you.
It all started with David Ortiz touching the top of his head. Yeah. It was a good omen.
I thought it was going to throw him, but he really bounced. It was awesome.
Two for two. Great speeches. Up next, Skip, Jim Leyland, when we return live to Cooper.
Welcome back to Cooperstown. Jim Leyland is up next. Something I am so excited for, Greg. But when I think about Jim Leyland being up there, I think about all the players that have played for this guy, all the impact that he's had on so many of us. Well, the guys that are here today, the guys that are watching on TV, it's going to be incredible. And I know he is so excited to be up there, so humbled and honored, and I'm so thrilled to be able to watch this speech. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Like his baseball sons are glued to the television right now to hear from Skip. Let's go back to the podium.
And now, if I could call your attention back to the video monitor for a presentation about our third 2024 inductee, Jim Leyland.
Hi, I'm Mac Magee from Braves Country Radio. You're listening to the 2024 Hall of Fame induction speeches. Enjoy.
If I could ask you to join me, please, Jim. And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor, Jim, to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and to ask the commissioner to please read the inscription on your plaque.
James Richard Leyland. Jim, Pittsburgh, NL, 1986 through 96. Florida, NL, 1997 through 98. Colorado, NL, 1999. Detroit, AL, 2006 through 13. Master strategist and motivator, galvanized youngsters and veterans to lead 3 franchises to the postseason and win a World Series title. Debuted as manager with the Pirates in 1986, guiding rebuild that resulted in 3 straight NL East titles from 1990 through 92. After 11 seasons in Pittsburgh, melded a reassembled Marlins team into world champions in 1997. Over 8 seasons at the helm of the Tigers, piloted team to 3 first-place finishes and AL pennants in 2006 and 2012. Winner of Manager of the Year award twice in NL, 1990, 1992, and once again in AL, 2006.
And I would like to present you with your Hall of Fame ring.
Sean Casey, do you know anything about this speech? Without giving too much away, do you know anything?
I do. I do.
Should we be ready to cry or laugh?
Be ready to laugh.
Laugh.
Coming out the gates.
All right.
Wow, Tom Verducci could not break this story, even though you're sitting right next to him, and you're a reliable source.
I'm so excited.
Wow, you have really kept the secret. As Jim Leyland goes to the other side of the stage, I don't know if there's a speech I was really excited for Ricky Henderson's speech for obvious reasons. He's such a unique personality. I'm really anticipating the speech, Tom Verducci.
I'm with you, Greg. I mean, he's such an entertaining guy, the soul of the game. That plaque does not mention all the bus rides and the minor league years he put in to get to this point.
I am looking forward to this. Back to the podium we go.
Hold on, Jim. Hold on one sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Leyland.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. And good afternoon. My contributions to our beautiful pastime pale in comparison to the joy that is brought to my life. From the heart of a little boy and the soul of an old man. Commissioner Manfred, Hall of Famers, family, friends, and fans. I would like to thank Jane Forbes Clark, Josh, John, and Whitney for a most memorable weekend. A heartfelt thanks to the Contemporary Committee for voting me this most prestigious honor. Congrats to Adrian, Todd, and Joe on your election, and certainly most honored to be going in with you. I'd like to thank every player that ever played for me, minors and the majors, because I'm here today because of you and the 4 organizations that gave me the opportunity to manage their major league team. I would like you to meet my wife, Katie, my son, Patrick, and my lovely daughter, Kelly, right here in the front row. And I want to thank them for the love for a husband and a father and the support for a baseball lifer. Katie, this just doesn't happen without you. I was having coffee with Katie a couple weeks after I was elected to the Hall of Fame. And I casually said, Katie, can you believe in your wildest dreams that I've been elected to the Hall of Fame? And Katie replied, Jim, you're not in my wildest dreams. From the sandlots of Perrysburg, a jewel of a town in northwest Ohio to grow up in, to a Hall of Fame stage in Cooperstown is a long journey. Shortly after high school, I signed a pro contract with the Detroit Tigers. The scout to sign me was named Herman Kander, and I think he was fired 24 hours after that transaction was announced. I bounced around the minor leagues for 7 years as a player and a player coach, but I want to sum up my playing career real quick with this quick little story. Eddie Brinkman played shortstop 15 years in the big leagues. We both managed in the Tiger organization and were on the White Sox coaching staff at the same time. One day I said to Brink, I looked up your career batting average and it was .224. He said, that's right. I said, heck, Brink, mine was .222. And Brink said, yeah, but mine was in Washington, Detroit, St. Louis, and New York, and yours was in Lakeland, Jamestown, and Rocky Mount. That's a big difference. In 1971, Hoot Evers of the Detroit Tigers hired me to manage the Rookie League in Bristol, Virginia. And that was the beginning of an 11-year managerial run in the minors, including Bristol, Clinton, Iowa, Lakeland, Florida, Montgomery, Alabama, and Evansville, Indiana. I learned so much in those 11 years. How to handle players, experiment with strategy, and believe it or not, I read and learned the baseball rule book. It was so valuable because I saw situations later come up in the big leagues that somewhere in one of those minor league games I had seen before. And it certainly helped me be prepared to better handle it. Managing in the minors can be tough because you have to release players and shatter their dreams of ever becoming a big leaguer. And I knew that because I was one of them. On the other side of that spectrum, it is so rewarding because you get the chance to tell a player he's going to the big leagues. Such was the case with Jack Morris when I got to deliver the great news. He went on to become one of baseball's best big game pitchers and is seated behind me today here in the Hall of Fame. In 1982, I was hired by Jerry Reinsdorf, Roland Heeman, and Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa to coach third base for the White Sox. And while my minor league managing was a stepping stone to where I was trying to get, the Chicago White Sox job was my springboard to my major league managing career. Why? Because I felt like it was the final test that I had to take to see if I was ready. And Tony was so influential on showing me what it took to run a big league club. And I've often said Tony La Russa did not make me a manager, but he made me a major league manager. I later scouted for Tony and General Manager Walt Jocketty with the St. Louis Cardinals. In 1985, I got my chance when Sid Thrift of the Pittsburgh Pirates hired me to manage the Buccos. Thank you, Sid. What a job he did, and who could ever forget the Killer Bees? It was my first of 4 teams that I had the honor to manage: the Pirates, the Marlins, the Rockies, and the Tigers. And there was something special about all of them. The Pirates, because they gave me my first chance, and I'll never forget that. And there are some Pirate players here today: Bob Walk, John Wayner, Andy Van Slyke, and I certainly have to mention Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Jay Bell, Doug Drabeck. I'd love to mention everybody, but I just can't. I never felt like manager and fans in Pittsburgh. It felt more like manager and friends. I know we made you happy, and I know we broke your heart, but I always felt that we were in it together. I'd also like to thank Larry Doty, Ted Simmons, and Cam Bonifay, who I worked with in Pittsburgh, and also, at the time, the 13 corporations that probably saved the Pirates. The Marlins, obvious, we won the World Series. Special, because we beat the Cleveland Indians, who I thought had the best offensive lineup that I ever managed against. Also special, because we finally got by the Atlanta Braves, who had 5 Hall of Fame players, one of my good friends and Hall of Fame manager, Bobby Cox. That's not easy to do. There are some Marlin players here today that I'd also like to thank: Jeff Conine, Gary Sheffield, Charles Johnson, and I can't forget Edgar Renneria, Levon Hernandez, and Moises Alou. A special thanks to Wayne Huizinga, Don Smiley, General Manager Dave Dombrowski, Al Avila, and David Chad. The Rockies. In spite of my subpar managing job, I still had the chance to manage 2 Hall of Fame players. Larry Walker, a 5-tool player with unbelievable instincts. And at that time, an up-and-coming first baseman named Todd Helton, who was just introduced as the second Rocky player to join the Hall of Fame. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Vinny Castillo, Dante Bichette, the late Darrell Kyle, the late Darrell Hamilton, and there were plenty more. A special thanks to the late Jerry McMorris, Dick and Charlie Mofford, and of course my general manager, Bob Gebhardt, a baseball lifer like me. Detroit Tigers, pretty simple. Signing some 40 years before with the Tigers, I finally got to Detroit in 2006. It took a long time. When I got there, I had a reunion with Dave Dombrowski, one of baseball's great GMs in any era, Al Avila, and David Chad, and it was a great reunion. Owner Mike Ilitch was the most passionate owner that I've ever been around. The entire Ilitch family went above and beyond to make my time in Detroit so special, and Chris Ilitch and President Scott Harris are still doing that today. 2 American League pennants, 2 World Series appearances, 3 straight division championships, and some of the most knowledgeable fans came out to the tune of 3 million people several times. How'd that happen? Because players like the unforgettable Maglie Ordonez, Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez, and of course the great Miguel Cabrera. And I'd like to mention a few more: Placido Polanco, Curtis Granderson, Todd Jones, Fernando Rodney, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Alex Avila, who's here today, and I appreciate Alex, and the old-timer Kenny Rogers. I'm asked a lot, what were your keys or priorities to managing? Some of mine were as follows. Try to get the front office, the major leagues, and the minor leagues all on the same page. Try to make the clubhouse a fun place to come and a great place to work, and get that temperature just right. As manager and coaches, we always wanted to get the best version of the player, the respect of the competition, and the people that watched us play. In 2017, I got a call from Commissioner Manfred and Joe Torre. asking if I would like to manage the 2017 United States team in the World Baseball Classic. Joe put together a tremendous group of players, and I added a special guy in Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer for the Tigers, to be my bench coach. And I never saw a group of guys get so close in such a short period of time. And we went on to win that World Baseball Classic for the United States. For the first and only time. One of my greatest memories. All organizations have people that work so hard that never get recognized enough, and I would like to mention some of them, and I hope you don't mind if I read this off. Front office trainers, team doctors, strength coaches, travel secretaries, clubhouse managers, PR directors, and scouts. And in every place I was, I felt I had the best. Also, thanks to the broadcasters, to the media, and the men in blue, the umpires. And of course, the coaches. One of the most important elements of any organization, the coaches. And I'm proud to say that 9 coaches over the years that were on our staff either managed in the big leagues prior to or after being on our staff. And I think that's quality. I wish I could mention all of the coaches today, but I can't. So I'm only going to mention the first 2 I ever hired. Gene Lamont and Rich Donnelly. Rich organized our spring training camp. Thank you. Rich organized our spring training camp every year, and it was absolutely flawless. Gene was listed as a coach, but was really another manager in the dugout. Gene and I were roommates in 1966. He was a longtime minor league manager, and he managed 2 major league teams, the Chicago White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was unbelievable to have your closest friend standing next to you in the dugout through the good times and the tough times. Gene is here. Gene, you're a big part of this. Please stand up. And in closing, I would like to say this to the fans. No matter which Hall of Famer you're here to support today, or which team you cheer for, your presence is always felt. On your feet in the 9th, with the home team clinging to a 1-run lead, turning on your television for the first game of the World Series, and seeing 50,000 fans waving towels, hoping and praying that this may be their year. Or a little boy or girl getting their first autograph and scurrying back to the stands to show mom and dad their latest treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's you. That's baseball, and this is the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
How many people are watching their TV right now, Tom Verducci, saying, I wish I could have played for a man like that?
You understand why he is a Hall of Fame manager. Just a terrific speech, hit all the right notes.
Joe Mauer is up next.
Hi, I'm Mac Magee from Braves Country Radio. You're listening to the 2024 Hall of Fame induction speeches. Enjoy.
Great.
And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and ask the commissioner to please come up and read the inscription on your plaque.
Joseph Patrick Mauer. Joe, Minnesota AL 2004 through 18. Lifelong twin, was one of the most complete catchers in the game's history, producing at the plate and behind the mask like few others. Deployed precise left-handed swing to become first AL catcher to win a batting title, securing 3 total, 2006, 2008, 2009, most ever among backstops in AL-NL history. Earned AL MVP honors in 2009 when he hit .365, setting all-time record among those with 100 games caught in a season and homered 28 times. First overall selection of 2001 MLB draft, was a 6-time All-Star, won 5 Silver Sluggers, and displayed athleticism behind the plate, earning 3 Gold Glove awards.
And I'd like now, Joe, to present you with your Hall of Fame ring.
Tom Verducci, you're a great writer, but this is almost too good to believe. He's the 7th player to wear a Twins cap in the Hall of Fame. His uniform number was number 7. He actually has twins of his own, Marin and Emily. I mean, this is a script that's so perfect, it's not believable.
Number 1 pick, played for his hometown team. It is crazy. He had a saying he liked to say, just another day in the show. Today is not just another day, but I got the sense that Joe's going to approach it the same way he always did, with class, dignity, and humility.
A leader, right? The catcher, quarterback, best basketball player.
I'm convinced all the things that he did as a kid prepared him for being Joe Mauer, to handle all the things that come his way. Multi-sports.
Back to the podium we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Mauer.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. As tough as it is to get into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it might be just as tough to sum up what this game, this honor, and this moment truly means to me. Even if I had all the time in the world, I'm still not sure I could properly put it into words. But today, I am grateful for the chance to try my best to describe what it means to be here with all of you. For as long as I can remember, the game of baseball has been a central part of my life and the life of my family. I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota, with my parents, 2 older brothers, and my grandpa Jake Mauer. Much of my early childhood was spent watching Twins games and pretending to be a big leaguer in my backyard and at various neighborhood parks with my brothers. Many of those parks were the same fields that fellow Hall of Famers Dave Winfield, Paul Molitor, and Jack Morris played on as well. How lucky and unique it was to have 3 big leaguers and future role models hail from my same city. Watching them as a kid was my first glimpse of hope that maybe I could make it in baseball as well. It'll never be lost on me that the same guys I pretended to be in my yard are men I grew up to know personally, and I even had one of them become my manager. Long before my big league days, my parents coached all of our Little League teams throughout the years. Rides to and from games consisted of conversations on good sportsmanship and ways to improve. And our dinner table talks were more of the same. In our home, baseball was a family affair. My dad and grandpa loved the game, and they loved to share their knowledge of the sport. They were the first to see a potential in me and believed in my abilities long before I did. They taught me that being successful takes a lot more than just athletic talent. At a young age, they instilled in me the values of hard work and dedication. They raised me on the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated, and always showing respect to my teammates, coaches, umpires, and opponents. They were my first and greatest role models, coaches and mentors, and they supported me every step of my baseball journey. From the very early days of homemade pitching machines in the garage to lengthy voicemails left after my big league performances, their guidance never wavered. Even at the end of my career, as my grandpa's eyesight was failing, he would stand right next to his TV in a batting stance and go through my every at-bat as if he was swinging alongside me. I hope they are both looking down this afternoon with pride, knowing that all their time and hard work helped me get to this podium, standing here as a Hall of Famer. From day one, they led by example and truly walked the walk, a path I was blessed to follow. Another very important person who was there every step of the way was my mom. She is the ultimate example of humility. Truth be told, she's the best athlete in our family, but she never wanted to take any of the credit for it and the skills and knowledge she passed along to me and my brothers. I want to thank you, Mom, for always being there, for being my greatest cheerleader and fan, and for always reminding me to have fun. You taught me that I could be a fierce competitor, but that it's far more important to be a good person. The example you set helped mold me into who I am today, and for that I am more grateful than you'll ever know. I love you, Mom. I want to give a nod to the sky and also thank my grandparents, Mike and Phyllis Tierney, for never missing a game in the course of my career. And for the baseball fans out there who love numbers, that's 81 home games times 15 years, adding up to 1,215 games. Even if I wasn't in the lineup, they still showed up to cheer on their beloved Twins. They were a wonderful example of dedication and support, going back to my very first days at T-ball. I want to thank my brothers, Jake and Bill. You were my first teammates and opponents, and I credit them for giving me thick skin. If I wanted to play with the older kids, then I needed to prove to them that I could, and you two were always willing to give me that chance. I want to thank you for never taking it easy on me, and for your support from the backyard days throughout my last game. I'm lucky to have you both as role models and friends. I was very fortunate to have a family who always nurtured my love of baseball. They were my first support system, but I was also fortunate to have a lot of great coaches over the years, and one in particular was my high school baseball coach, Jim O'Neill. For those who wondered why I rarely swung, please. For those of you who wondered why I rarely swung at the first pitch, it dates back to the advice he gave me my senior year at Cretin-Derham Hall. He once told me, Joe, when you step into the box, you're most likely going to hit the ball, so why not wait for the pitch you want? Simple advice, but I credit him for helping me develop a plan every time I stepped up to the plate and giving me the confidence to hit deep into counts. He taught me patience and control, and I carried those lessons with me throughout my career. Thank you, Jim. I want to thank scouts Mark Wilson, Joel Leppel, and former Minnesota Twins general manager Terry Ryan for coming out and watching those many high school games and for taking a chance on me as an 18-year-old catcher. The draft was talented that year back in 2001 with several players close to Major League ready, and you took me. Seen as an unpopular choice by many, I was determined to prove to everyone that you made the right decision, and your trust and belief in me helped me gain confidence in myself, especially in those early years. Navigating that chapter in my life where I was faced with major decisions at a young age was made easier for me by the help of two men who I revere as some of the greatest mentors and confidants, my agents, Mr. Ron Shapiro and Mr. Michael Moss. From the first time we met at 18 years old, I knew you were special. I knew you had my best interests at heart. Your wisdom, advice, support, professionalism, and friendship has guided me throughout my entire career, both personally and professionally, and I credit much of my growth as a ball player and person to you both. I want to thank you for being the role models I needed at 18 and for continuing to be the first people I call for advice till this day. You have become family to me, and I'm so grateful for your influence and guidance through this journey. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Polad family for allowing me to wear one jersey my entire career and being able to play at home in front of my family, friends, and amazing Minnesota fans. I wanted to be a Twin from day one, and that decision never wavered in 18 years. Thank you for that opportunity and your belief and support in me through it all. it was truly an honor to be a part of your organization and represent my hometown team. I'd like to thank my managers, Ron Gardenhire and Paul Molitor, two men who I greatly respect and admire. You were both highly effective in your approach, and I learned so much under your guidance. You created an atmosphere for players to thrive in, and I want to thank you for your wisdom, support, and friendship throughout my career. Thanks, guys. I was also fortunate to be surrounded by an incredible coaching staff who shared with me wisdom and insight of this game and worked tirelessly every day to get the best out of me and my teammates. The same can be said about the fantastic trainers and doctors who kept me healthy and able to do my job. I would like to give a special thank you to Dr. Walt Wilson and Dr. Bob Brown of the Mayo Clinic for always putting my health and safety first, and for not only being there for me, but taking care of my entire family. You are a blessing to us all, and we are so grateful to have you guys in our lives. I also wouldn't be able to go out and do my job without the support of the clubhouse staff. Those guys did so much work behind the scenes so I could focus solely on getting ready to play the game. They became confidants and lifelong friends, and I appreciate you fellas more than you know. I especially want to thank my teammates, many of them who are here today, for your support, encouragement, and the amazing brotherhood you provided me for so many years. It was an absolute honor to suit up alongside you and battle it out every night. You each brought something different to the table and collectively taught me so much about this game, but also about life in general. Many of us grew up together, starting out as young ball players trying to navigate a new world, to becoming gray-haired dads who plan golf trips around our kids' schedules, and I'm grateful for the lifelong friendships I've been given to by this game. Thank you for being here today and for sharing with me a milestone that you all had a role in helping me achieve. I also want to thank the Minnesota Twins fans. You guys came out today. Thank you, thank you. For your many years of support throughout my career, with a special thank you to all who have traveled here today. You were there for my highs and lows and believed in me and our team through it all. Your energy and cheers brought life to our games, and it was truly an honor to play at home in front of such an incredible and loyal fan base. Thank you. To my extended family and friends, those of who traveled here to join us in this incredible moment, and for those of you watching at home, thank you for your support not only today, but throughout my life and career. It means the world to me, and I'm lucky to have amazing people like you in my life. And Maddie, I cannot thank you enough for all that you do for me and our family. You wear many hats. You are an incredible wife, mother, mentor, role model, keeper of everyone's schedules, and as I call you, the curator of fun in our family. And somehow you managed to do it all with patience and grace. You've been a staple of love, support, and guidance, all while holding down the fort so I could go out and play the game that I love. The kids and I are so grateful for all that you do and so blessed to have you in our lives. Thank you for everything, honey. I love you. I also want to thank my in-laws, John and Ginny, for all the help that they provided Maddie and the girls when I was gone on the road. I knew I could always count on you for being there for them, and it put my mind at ease when I was out there. Thank you for all the love and support you've always shown me, and I love you both as well. Maren and Emily, you two gals mean the world to me. You've always been my little cheerleaders, and no matter the outcome of a game, you always seem to put a smile on my face. You've helped me see things with a new perspective and are a constant reminder of what's truly important in this world. I'm so proud of you both. It's been a joy to watch you grow into the incredible young ladies you are. I want to thank you for keeping me on my toes and for teaching me new things every day. I love you so much, and I'm so blessed to be your dad. And Chip, I love you so much too, buddy. I'm so grateful to have you as my little sidekick. Just like your big sisters, you bring so much joy and light to my life, and you remind me daily to slow down and appreciate the little things. You were born just 2 days after I retired, and although you missed my playing days, I now get to relive my childhood love of baseball through your eyes. Seeing your excitement as I watched you hold Babe Ruth's bat at the museum back in January was a full circle moment that brought me back to my days of pretending to be a big leaguer in our backyard. I now get to coach your team and have car rides to and from games where we talk about how baseball is about so much more than winning or losing. Playing this game takes grit. It teaches the important lessons of hard work, patience, and dedication. Because in baseball, you will inevitably fail more times than you succeed. You need to learn to make adjustments and have a strong determination to keep going, even when it's tough. These are all values I want to instill in my children, and learning this game is a great place to start. I wouldn't be standing here today without the vote of the baseball writers. I want to thank those of you who filled in my name on your ballot and felt I was worthy of this incredible honor. You are the data trackers and historians of this game, and because of your dedication, I not only have treasured articles and stories about my playing days, but my career now has a permanent place in the history of this game. I am truly honored, humbled, and grateful by your acknowledgement and appreciation of my craft. I also want to congratulate Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and Jim Leyland, and all of your families on this incredible moment. I am honored to be joining you in this year's Hall of Fame class, as I have the utmost respect for each one of you and how you guys conducted yourselves both on and off the baseball field. You are all highly deserving of this honor. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame members who are here today to welcome us into this incredible fraternity. You have all left a mark on this game and has acted as leaders and role models for the younger generations, myself included. Thank you for the support you have shown me since receiving the call back in January. It is an honor to share this stage with all of you. I want to give a big thank you to Jane Forbes Clark, Josh Rawitch, John Shostakowski, Whitney Horn, and the entire Hall of Fame staff for all that you do to make this induction ceremony the wonderful event that it is, but also for your hard work and dedication in preserving the history of this game. The magic and memories you provide to all who have traveled here today for the love of baseball is unlike any other place. Thank you for what you do all year long in creating a place to honor, remember, and learn about the people, players, and moments that make this game such an important part of history. To stand here today and say that I'm now a small part of baseball's history is a statement that will never fully sink in for me. This moment is truly a dream come true. Thank you again to all who believed in me, supported me, and helped me achieve this remarkable honor. Thank you.